I drove field cuts through my neighborhood.
Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday. Good to see you all. Everybody that's here. I wish I was like super excited to do this stream tonight. I have Steve with us.
What's up, people?
We've been dealing with a lot. Can you guys hear me okay? I just want to make sure before I get into any of this.
Yeah, it might be more fun to talk to gay guys about skincare. Aggro.
What? Why? Oh, thanks, Steve.
I was joking. I'll stop that now.
It's we've had quite the week. All right, I got the Rumble and the YouTube thing saying that we're live, the alerts, so we should be good.
You mean the Rumble and the Odyssey?
The Rumble and I got Rumble and YouTube. I didn't get an Odyssey alert on my phone. I got YouTube though, and I got Rumble. Mm-hmm. So we should be on those. Man. So there was some recent events that I sound good on YouTube. Thank you, Snork. Thank you. Let's say hi to our fam that's here.
Salty.
We got, I don't see Salty yet.
He just came.
There he is. Salty. What up? I thought that you got a pelican. Did you not get? You didn't get a pelican, though. I think that was Oz.
Yeah, that was Oz.
I was really hopeful that he had a Peter.
I was trying to do the math on how far away from the ocean Salty actually is, and what the chances were to get an actual pelican that far inland and up a mountain.
I mean, I still think it's really awesome that Oz had a pelican. Okay, but that's from a different show. Oz was like, I think a pelican landed on my roof, and I thought Salty said it. So. We have Miss Zainab in here with us, of course. Hello, lady. It's so good to see you.
Jerry Brown.
Very often my partner in crime. Crime against, I don't know.
Shitlibbery?
Yeah, against shitlibbery and speaking the truth. And that's what we're hated for.
Good evening, Angela.
And Aggravated Progressive is here.
Old aggro.
And vegan sake buzz. Snow Leopard says, I hear you. Where's Angela? I don't see an Angela.
Angela just said, good evening to all you lovely humans.
And there's Jara Brown. I see her. Hello, Jara. And Yepex.
Yepex. It's like, there looks like there's probably about 10 people in the chat and at least 4 people hate watching. So that's good. Let's go. We gotta welcome all them too. So welcome all the haters.
Oh, it's all right. Yeah.
That's fine. I hope they learn
Popeye.
a thing.
I didn't see Popeye.
Learn a thing. We are destroyers of the grass, man. In fact,
and
listen closely.
Jara wanted to make sure that everyone knew that she did not
up in flames
call me a turf last week on Rumble. Like, her and I talked about it. We discussed it because that's what we do when we have like a misunderstanding or we don't get it. Like, and Jara watches the show, so she knows how I feel and she knows that I'm not a turf. So it's not hard for her to, you know what I mean? Like, it's like to say that and decipher that because she watches the program. She watches this show. It's not just like she doesn't just take like my Twitter stuff and be like, yeah, so this means that, and because there's no context when it comes to text. There's no there's no way to you know what I mean, and to read it and invoke emotion.
I would like to point out the size and overall sheer girth of the ass involved in assuming all the things that have been assumed about you in the last couple of days.
Oh my gosh.
It's got to be like an ass the size of Cleveland. I mean, it's maybe
there
Dallas
is
even.
So much assuming.
It's a big ass. That's what I'm saying. That's my point.
There is so much assuming that's been happening. Like it's ridiculous.
It's a giant ass.
So, I was talking to somebody earlier, and I started, sharing a little bit of, we were just having a good conversation, and it invoked a lot of memories that that I thought might be important context to why I feel so passionately about protecting kids and what my journey has been like. So I just thought, sometimes when, we can misunderstand people, it's really easy to do that. And it's really easy to assume that they're acting a certain way or they have this intention or that intention. And I just want to clear some things up. And, so I was like, oh, you know what? I had a whole other show planned. I have all kinds of crazy stuff that's happening around and stuff on I had stories on East Palestine and freaking crazy stuff that's happening and multi-dimensional stuff, really cool show. So we will be doing that soon. But tonight I'm going to go into a little bit of my own personal journey and my own history. And I'm going to open up a little bit about things that I have opened up before on the show about. But I thought that this would be a good, way to bring us to where we are kind of currently. Because I started thinking about all this. So when I was only 21, I was in a really bad car accident. And, some of you might know that I tend to not try to make, my physical and mental disabilities or limitations or whatever abilities, you know what I mean? Depending on however you want to look at it, I look at it as I'm neurodivergent and my brain works differently, but I try not to focus on that. I don't put a bunch of labels in my Twitter bio that says I'm handicapped and I'm this and I'm that. I just don't do that, and so I just end up usually individually just stating the things. But so when I was 21, I had insurance up until I was 21, and then and I turned 21 in July. And then in October, so a couple months, down the road, I was in a really bad car accident and I didn't have insurance, because, I didn't even know that you could get state insurance or anything like that. So thankfully I was a passenger in a truck and, we got rear-ended. So accident wasn't my fault in any possible way. I wasn't even driving. So we got rear-ended. And this was in October. It was cold. I remember it being really cold. I remember being strapped down to the gurney, the ambulance came and they strapped me down. They had tape all in my hair and oh my gosh, it was awful. And I had been at the casino earlier because I had just turned 21. So my friend took me out to eat and we had wine and oh my gosh, I had to pee so bad. I remember that urgency. Do you ever you got to understand, you know what I mean? You're stopping somewhere because I gotta go, and then you get in an accident and then you gotta hold it. Oh my God, it was awful. It was awful. But yeah, the car accident was, I laugh now because it's a nervous laughter and just it was a very traumatic experience for me at the time. It still is to this day. It still affects me to this day. So I was in a bad car accident and I ended up needing to have back surgery because that accident caused my disc to completely herniate because of the impact of it. Because we were rear-ended, and it actually broke the truck's axle. It was pretty bad. For a guy that it wasn't even a drunk driver or anything. Like, as far as I know, he just was not paying attention and just rammed into the truck that I was in. So that severe accident happened, and I had back surgery in 2002, and then later on in that year, I got pregnant with my daughter. Back surgery had failed. Like, it wasn't enough. It was a microdiscotomy, meaning they just go in and they shave off the part that was, that herniated. They didn't like do anything more than that. They thought that would just be enough, but within like a month of that, it was re-herniated, and I needed a new surgery. But I got pregnant with my daughter, so I didn't take any pain meds. Went through my entire pregnancy, delivery, all of that, having a herniated disc and needing back surgery. And I breastfed my daughter for 2.5 years after that. I did not, I never took any pain meds. I just dealt with it. Like, I literally just was in immense pain, but I dealt with it because that was what was best for her. Later on down the road, I ended up leaving her dad and going back, and then leaving, packing up all my stuff and like leaving a note because I was so scared. Went into a domestic violence shelter and things like that. And it wasn't for physical abuse, but I saw kids getting injured by their, I saw mothers hurting their children at the shelter. So I left there and eventually ended up back with her dad. That, we were really young, and wasn't a good situation. And I stayed with him for another 3 months, and then I ended up ducking out the same way that I had before. And I ended up at friends' houses. She was really little. My daughter, she was really little. She was like, I think 3 at the time. And at this point, I still hadn't had back surgery or anything like that. And I went through like all kinds of stuff, and, through a divorce and all of that. And I had health insurance with him. So that was like the lucky thing that I did have, is that I had health insurance through him, through his work. And, I was able to, before our divorce was finalized, with the assistance of being able to have like an additional insurance, like as a backup, like the state one, because I couldn't afford the copays. I wouldn't have been able to have the surgery. Because my back surgery alone was, I have the second back surgery I had. The only reason I was able to have it was because friends helped me. Friends helped me. I was in the hospital for 5 days. I had to learn how to get up and walk again. It was not easy. It was not easy. So I had that surgery, spinal fusion, 4 screws, 3 metal rods in my back. I mean, it was a lot. And, I powered through it somehow. Because it was for my daughter. That's what it was for. And so, why is he making noise in there? Leo. So, after that, after about a month of being post-op with a major back surgery that takes 2 years to heal from, I had to leave my friend's house. Like, it just wasn't working out, and, I couldn't stay there anymore. So I ended up post-op major back surgery with my little girl, my daughter, and just what I could fit in a car that was given to me. And I ended up at a homeless shelter It was really hard. The staff there was they were stealing my pain meds from me. I had other residents there trying to steal my pain meds when I started keeping them, like locked away. I had people trying to steal them that way and getting them that way. It was really difficult, but I persevered and I just kept going. Somehow I was there for 3 months, and I'll never forget how that first time I walked in that building. It was an old industrial, like really old doctors and nurses quarters, this shelter. I mean, it was just plain, and it had like this just really, like this ugly, I believe it was like green or like industrial, like blue walls. Like just, it felt like, and like the doors in there were all heavy and stuff. Like I remember that night, like I remember that day, like very clearly. And I remember thinking like, geez, like it was scary because I didn't know what to expect there.
Leo.
No, him.
What do you want me to do?
I think he needs help. So I I stayed there and I did everything I could. There wasn't much I could do, like I was post-op back surgery without a home. Thankfully, I was able to get into a program that was a transitional living for mothers and their children. And it took 3 months for me to be able to get into that program. I had to apply, and, I had to have like letters of recommendation, and like it wasn't an easy thing to get into, but I got into that, and I did that program, and I went back and volunteered my time at that shelter to help the kids and the parents, because I felt like, like somebody needs to care for these people. I knew how I felt. Like I made relationships with these guys and with the staff and everything. So I went back and I volunteered, and I eventually, when I was released to get a job from my doctor, I got a job doing retail work and also part-time at the shelter. And I spent my own money doing crafts with the kids on the weekends. Every weekend I would try to like reconnect the parents to the kids, because I saw how broken things were. I saw how how hard it was for them. I in the building itself, the hallway, it was just, like I said, really in like industrial building.
Stop.
And so the kid, like all the different doors, they were all fire doors. Like the clients had different rooms, and some of them had like one main door, and then there was like 2 different rooms in each one, or some of them it was just like a single, like with like just a couple beds in there, and it was very sparse and just not a lot to it. There was a lot of rules there. But so like kids would get really confused because just like a house number on a door, like the little ones, they didn't know. So I like volunteered because I did it like outside of my normal work hours too. I did it during work, but I did it during outside of my work hours. I painted all the different doors to look like different house doors. I don't have pictures of them ready tonight. But I'll have to see if I can find some and show you guys. So I painted them, and I did different like textures on the doors, and like I did ones that looked like they were like stained glass, and I used textured paint so that like little kids could like feel it and know, and it was all very like personalized and as custom as I was allowed to do. And I did painting and murals and like just try to make it better for the people, because I cared. I've been a fierce advocate for for children and supporting them and families, just families, because that was a family shelter. It wasn't just for women and children. I also did volunteer work at the transitional living place that I lived at. I did a lot of work there with kids, and I got really active and involved in my community. I joined organizations that were anti-bullying. Worked with them for years, ones that are local to me. I've worked, that's always been my focus. I've always been like the neighborhood mom. That's the one that will, I have sidewalk chalk and bubbles and stuff like that. Like I'll just bring it out for kids. When my daughter was in school, was a grade schooler, I volunteered in her classroom. I made sure that the teacher had a break. So just like I was like, the teacher was there and I would just come in like I would come in the classroom and I would do something that was geared towards whatever the curriculum was. Like I would do some kind of craft, something just so like the teacher could just have teacher time. And like, she couldn't like she could be like in the school and in and out of the classroom, and like leave the kids with me. They were all like, it was great. I had no problem with it. But like it gave her a break and it gave me that interaction. I did a lot of one of the really awesome things that I love doing was with the anti-bullying group that I was a part of. I just did a lot of volunteer work. I mean, we did a number of different things. Like I don't need to get into all the different details of the different projects that we've done, but one of my favorites that involved like kids it all involved kids, but like that was really like one-on-one with the kids that I thought was really special was the after school theater group that I did with the middle schoolers. That was fun. It was all about, and it was like we did skits with the kids and it was all anti-bullying and it was like all, like it was so much fun. Never once was it anything like what they're doing with kids in school now, like the curriculum now and what they're teaching kids now that I have a problem with. Is not that's not what I experienced when my daughter was in school. So, let me see. Like, I don't remember where else I went with it, where I was exactly going with that part of it.
You were just saying all your history of advocating for children.
Oh yeah,
has never changed.
Oh yeah. I've just always been, I've always just been that fierce advocate. Like I've always been the person that if I saw somebody harming their kid, I'm going to go over it. I'm not just going to like they have those, what would you do shows or whatever. And they're like, what would people do? I'm the person that does act. I'm the person that does go over. I'm the person that goes and makes sure that like, is there anything I can do to support you, whether I know the person or not, because we're just human beings and we need to support each other. No hate. And recently, more recently, I've been covering issues that have upset people. Apparently, it's quite apparent. People are, trying to cancel me for having a nuanced conversation about what's happening to children that's different, and like being somebody that's always fiercely advocated for children and been in my community and like, I mean, it's not a resume, I mean, it's not like I don't do this stuff so I can just tell people I did it. You know what I mean? Like I don't do it so that I can be like, yeah, well, guess what I did? I'm not doing it to virtue signal. This has been my life. Speaking up for what's right and the truth has always been what I've always done. And I mean, maybe it's just because I'm on the, I'm on the spectrum and like that, that's something that Zainab and I talk about. It's just I have a bullshit fucking filter, and I'm gonna say something if I feel like something is wrong, because that's just who I am. And you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to replace my opinion with your own.
You don't have to take it personally.
And you don't have to
it's
take
not
it
a personal attack.
Yeah, no, it's not.
People seem to conflate that every single time you offer some sort of pushback against anything they're telling you. It's like immediately you're just like, oh, well, you can't say that because they're an asshole, because that's fucked up. Why would you? No, it's okay to disagree on fucking things. And people are just completely stuck on just all or nothing. Like, oh, I'm completely wrong on this fucking topic, but I'm going to dig a fucking hole so deep that I bury everyone I know in it. And then what? Now all the people that were watching you fucking dig the hole are like, what the fuck is your problem? Why did you act like such a douchebag when it was such a fucking non-issue in the first place that you already probably agreed on if you took the half a second to, actually have adult discourse?
Yeah. And that's the thing. And that's where I'm at right now, is that this last week, apparently I've really hit some people's, their triggers or whatever.
The reflex with the hammer on the knee and you kick and you can't.
Oh yeah, like the reflex. Oh, watch out.
Reflexology.
Steve, your feet.
I love that album. I see. No. I know.
So what Steve's kind of pointing at, if you are on Twitter, then you may have already seen what's been going on. I've been people have been coming at me who I'm pretty sure haven't watched any of the recent shows that I've done, or don't have an understanding of where I'm coming from and how I'm coming at this from a place of I want to protect children. Yeah. And those words do not get to be taken by the right or the conservatives. When I say keep kids safe, that's exactly what it means. It means keep kids safe. It means we're failing as a society to keep children safe. Things don't need to be pushed on kids. Kids need to be able to be kids and have their own breathing room and be accepted and loved, no matter who they may or may not grow up to love or not love. All of them deserve it. All of them deserve to have love and have peace and not have ideology taught to them as young kids. Ideology pushed on them as kindergartners. There are children in school now where the parents are pulling the kids out of school because the kids are really confused, because they're like, oh, you have to figure out if you're, what your gender is and what your pronouns are and all of these things. And they're putting that on young children. And why am I talking about this? And, why does it matter? Because I care about children, and I care. And as a parent, no sexuality should be pushed on young children. Sexuality shouldn't be pushed on any kids, especially when they are in a school environment, when they're there to learn. They are extremely susceptible when they are in a school environment, right? Because as parents, we're like, yeah, you're going there to learn. And we trust these people to for you to be there with them all day, right? And what's being taught to them at a very young age. I'm talking kindergartners are being asked, what is your pronoun? Kids are coming home confused from school. I've seen stories of this. Like kids are coming home from school confused that they're going to just suddenly change genders because they're hearing all this stuff and they're confused. The adults are confused. The adults can't even grasp and understand this concept yet. The adults are still like hashing all of this out. But yet, children are supposed to figure it out. Your brain's not even fully developed until you're 25. And they're teaching kids improper grammar. And grammar is not always like a strong suit for me. It's something I've always, because I've had disabilities since I was a kid. And so some of that is that I deal with dyslexia and things like that. I had extensive testing when I was a kid. Like it was like some of the first, I think, it wasn't common in the 80s and to the early 90s to have all kinds of testing done on your kid. Like it wasn't like a common thing like it is now. Like, so I push back and think that we need to pause this stuff. We need to look at what's happening. We need to look at other countries and what they're doing because they're stopping this care for kids. Because some of these drugs sterilize them. Some of these doctors aren't telling them all the side effects of these drugs. They're not being given informed consent. So what does that sound like? That sounds like the same thing that we've been going through, right? Always bodily autonomy and informed consent. That should matter. We need to take a pause. We need to take a step to breathe and to figure this out and to not exclude or harm anybody in the process. That's not the reason for that. The reason for that is to keep the kids safe. The reason I don't think that pride flags... Where's mine? I usually have mine. I don't know. I have a pride flag here somewhere. I'm part of the LGBT community. Have been for decades. It's not something that I am always throwing around, but I don't think I don't believe a pride flag belongs in classrooms and in school. Why do I say this? Why would I say such a thing? I'm being exclusionary against the LGBT community and plus. And
how dare you say that pride has been completely co-opted by the government and by corporate entities?
Well, here's the thing. LGBT, lesbian, gay, or bisexual. What is that? Those are sexualities. Those are sexual preferences. Why does that sexuality or sexual preference need to be in school? I would have an issue if it was heterosexual sexuality pushed in school. I don't think any sexuality should be pushed on kids in school. They need to be taught things at age-appropriate times, and they need to be taught about biology and the biology of their bodies and all of that. But I think some of this needs to come back to the parents. The parents need to be able to steer some of this.
Yeah, and if they're lucky enough to have parents at home, if children are lucky enough to have,
I know, and I hope that I want kids to have parents. I want them to have healthy relationships with their parents.
Ultimately,
but we're going about it this way and pushing it this way isn't the way to go. I think that we need to do more, be in our communities, working with these families. Like, that's what I did. And if any of the stuff that I did was about sexuality, I would have had a problem. Oh, I remember why I brought the shelter up. While I was at the shelter, while I was living there, my girlfriend at the time introduced me to a friend of hers. And this friend, I'm not going to say like anybody's names, but this friend was a transsexual person, male to female. And I had Skyla, who, was my young daughter, and she met my friend and, like told her age appropriate, you might see, so-and-so maybe not fully, in their, in dressed because they were in the transition still. It wasn't a big deal. This person ended up being like one of my absolute best friends up until, a couple of years ago. And it was because of shit livery with Biden. Like, believe it or not, that we just haven't been as close as we were. But like, my daughter was raised around people of different backgrounds and different orientations, and it was never a weird thing. It was never about a sexuality for her. Like, I didn't like expose her to those things, just like I don't expose her, you know what I mean? I don't think that's appropriate. And it's not because I'm like a prude or something. I don't I wouldn't want someone else teaching my child that, the opposite of, if you know what I mean, of what my like morals and beliefs are. Like, I wouldn't want somebody who has a completely different political stance, and that, like when I was at the shelter, I had to be really cautious and aware because there was a staff member that hated gay people and like lesbians and bisexuals, like hated them. Like, I had a target on my back there, and I had to be really careful. This wasn't that long ago. I mean, it was long enough ago, but like, what 2000, what year was that? 2009, 2010, somewhere in there, you know what I mean? So like, it's been a little bit of time, but I guess it depends on your frame of reference. But things were a lot different there. We didn't have as much acceptance then, and we definitely didn't have it pushing, and we definitely didn't have it being pushed in school.
We definitely didn't have giant celebrations in every city and every public square in every city.
No.
Covered in rainbows and rainbow balloons and Mariah Carey singing in Los Angeles and big giant gala events and things all around this one thing that was supposed to be like acceptance of gay people.
Yeah, like, just let us
That's what it was supposed to be.
Just let us live among everybody else.
Just a symbol. The rainbow was the symbol for that acceptance. And now they've taken that acceptance and jammed it down your throat.
Yeah.
And while they've had your throat open, been jamming all this other crap in there too, just to go along with it, because it's so inclusive that how dare you speak out and say anything negative about the rainbow, because that just makes you a terrible, horrible bigot person, right? Who hates gay people. I love gay people. I've always loved gay people. I've had so many gay friends. It's just perfectly fine with me. I don't care who loves who. We don't choose who we love. I'm of that opinion. You don't choose. You just it just happens, or it doesn't. And that's it. And so that being said, I love all the people. I want all the people to be happy and love who they want, unabashedly. And within the normal confines of moral fucking behavior in front of children.
Yeah.
And I don't want the state sanctioning and mandating this kind of ideology, the kind of ideology that was developed by doctors that are fucking monsters. If you look into it, Dr. Kinsey and Dr. Money are two of the grossest human beings I've ever read about in my life.
Yeah, completely.
So
yeah,
if that is your thing that you're pushing for, without even understanding the background of the ideologies and the things that you're teaching these kids, and then you're robbing them of the opportunity to become like adults and not be medical patients for decades to come and lead all kinds of horrible freaking side effects and things.
Well,
and stuff like you're opening it up for that to happen and for children to be robbed of that thing, of that precious time in our life when our bodies do feel weird and crazy and we don't know what to do. And then after a couple of years, it kind of works itself out. And if it doesn't, then at least by the time you're 18 or 19, you should be able to be like, well, listen, that didn't work out the way that I'd hoped. I feel if I could be accepted as the alternate or whatever the alternates are, you know what I mean? Like if that is an option for them later, that's when you make that decision. You don't do that. You don't teach this ideology when they're 5-6 years old until they're 13, 14 years old going through this, because then they're just like, well, this sucks, so I'm just going to get my boobs cut off and whatever, whatever the thing is.
Okay.
It's nuts.
Okay. So back to like what I was saying.
Okay. I guess
I was trying to finish about my friend. Like when I met my friend, it was just the LGB. That was it. We were the LGB. That was the community. It's for adults. That's what it always was adults. It was a soft place for adults to land. It was a very loose community. And then the T joined and everybody was like, yeah, this is awesome. And, we're an inclusive and you know what I mean? It was a good thing. And now, I mean, like, I don't even know. I honestly, the acronym is just growing and evolving and changing all the time now. But there's a lot of people that just want to go back to the LGB and split off with the rest because there is something that is happening where there are people who are taking this to a complete extreme. And they're ignoring biology and they're trying to cancel the people who talk about biology. And they're like acting as though that is a wrong thing to do. That biology is just wrong. And they're calling you homophobic and you're friggin' transphobic and TERFs and all these names. And then they want to cancel you if you don't agree with that. Like you can't even have a nuanced conversation about them because we have the extreme conservatives talking about it. And I've covered that. And if you've watched the new, that I've covered some of the more conservative conversation about this and we talk about it and we, express what we don't agree with. And then we have this extreme that's like, you have to ignore biology and it's a completely different thing. And people are not catching up. Like people aren't there. They aren't there. That's not reality, Yeah,
that's what it is. We need critical thinking. That's using your thinking skills. Now, this is actually occurring. It's actually happening. It's happening in my state. They're teaching the kids in kindergarten. This is a real thing that is happening. So you can say, oh, people are just taking the internet too seriously. No, you can actually see it happening all around you if you look at it objectively.
I used to be more to that extreme, that side where I was just like, yeah, of course, I want to be inclusive with everybody. And I didn't know, and I was not educated on this topic. And we've really dived into it. I've done a bunch of research. I have friends that are transsexuals. I have, I went through the process and learned about that process long ago with my friend, where it used to be years of counseling to ensure it, to make sure it. You got a diagnosis. It's because it is in the DSM-5, whether you agree with the DSM-5 or not. It is considered to be a mental health disorder to have gender dysphoria. And like, we don't need to get into the nitty-gritty of all of that, you know what I mean? But I've covered it at length, like on a bunch of different shows. Actually, like I had a bunch of other stuff that was not related to this topic that I was going to cover tonight. Because sometimes it gets a little bit much, it's a little bit overwhelming. But so why are people trying to like come at me and try to cancel me? Because I'm speaking about things that are truthful, and I'm talking to people who have transitioned and that have detransitioned. Listen to a lot of their stories. I interact with a lot of them. I really started to do a lot of research and look into this, and I changed how I really, like, as I've really come to understand more and more, I have shifted my opinion that we should not be medically transitioning children. We need to take a step back from that. We need to not let these corporations push this onto our children. It's harming them.
Josh Davis is like, who's trying to cancel you? I'm like, who isn't? Is it probably a better question to ask?
Yeah. We're gonna get to that. I'm gonna pull up some things so that you guys can see exactly what's happening. And some people will already know because they'll have already seen it.
Yeah, we're in Connecticut. We need critical thinking. And
it's happening everywhere, actually.
It's happening in a lot more places than you think, if you think it ain't happening.
Yeah,
it's definitely happening in our state.
Yeah, it is. And if you would like to get in contact with us, if you want to tell us what state and everything like that, I can direct you to help you get some more information about it. All right,
There's a lot of information about it.
I don't know if this is the right email or password. Okay, it's not automatically letting me sign into the Twitter. Wait, is it letting me do it this way? Hang on. Thank you, sir.
I did it.
You did it. Because I sent everything. I think I sent everything
yes,
over.
You can look up the curriculum and you will see clearly that they've adopted. And I mean, somebody pointed it out on what was it? It was a memo, wasn't it? Like a school memo.
Yeah,
part of the curriculum. The kindergarten teachers were sharing their lesson plans or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, I mean, if you're looking for it, you'll find it. It's easy for it to be, overlooked and all that, but no, if you look for it, you will definitely find it. All right. So how it started, at this time, I wasn't really aware what the problem was, because this is how it started. And you might be like, what does this have to do with that? All right. So, because I bring my receipts, and this is public, very public. So, Joy, Savage Joy, some caller, I don't know if I make it bigger. So she had put up a tweet that was talking about you know, the oh my gosh, it was about either about East Palestine or it was about like Canada or something like that. And I said, I have empathy for everyone, including the people of Canada losing their homes as well. Like I was just giving support and, you know, like that was it. And then she comes back at me and says, I haven't seen you covering East Palestine. And what does East Palestine have to do with this? I was showing, you know, support. So that's how it started. And then she says that to me and she's doing that all very publicly. She has my actual phone number. Like she could have come to me. So then from there, I'm not going to show them because they're private DMs, but that was the public part of it right there. And so she starts to, I'm like, what does that have to, I've covered East Palestine. And then she sends me in private somebody else who I don't have like verifiable proof of who it is. I can assume who it is. Somebody else sends her something that says like, you know, a search with my name and it says East Palestine. Like I haven't been covering it. And she was mad. That's what she told me. She was mad that I haven't covered it. And I've been covering all these LGBTQ issues and I have not been and I haven't been covering East Palestine enough. And I'm like, I talk about it all the time. I'm like, you know, you don't even watch my show, obviously. Joy was involved with it, and also there's some other people involved with it too, Josh. So I'm like, okay, well, I am part of the LGBT like community. I have been for a long time, and this is really important. And you know, proceeded to continue to go after me, refused to actually provide any evidence to the things that she was claiming. And I called that out and I called it out and called it out. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Many, many times.
Mm-hmm. So then I have Jenna Colby's husband on Twitter.
Shout out Jenna Colby.
Oh yeah, shout out to her. He comes after me. And I figured out it was him because of, you know, his Twitter that he doesn't like ever use. He has like 40 followers and been on there like 12 years or something and like doesn't ever like really use it. But suddenly like this count's coming at me and like they're coming at me hardcore and coming at me like, well, why are you against gay kids and all of this stuff?
Completely off base.
It was out of like nowhere. Like I'm like, I don't even know who this guy is. Like, what is happening? And so I figured out who he was based upon his profile. I was like, I think I know, you know. I know who this is. So I said, yeah, you know, go, you know, I said, say hi to the cat for me. I know their cat's name. So I said that. And I'm like, what, your wife sent you? And he's like, no, I've been stalking, you know, I saw your post on my own and, you know, I've been fuming for days. So yeah, Jenna's husband was really thinking about me for a couple of days there. Like big mad at me. Woo! So instead of like, you know, maybe like asking questions and understanding like how I was, you know what I mean? Like, why was I saying these things? And why did I think that, you know, gay kids shouldn't be allowed at school and like twisting everything that I said around. like completely twisting. Did I save those ones? I think I saved some of those. Oh, she has you blocked. She blocked you too.
She blocked you.
Oh, I have one of them here from him. Yeah, it's like this thing that totally happens. Okay, so
like the coronavirus.
So like I have like swarms of people coming at me now. Yeah. Not really. Not that many actually.
Not that many. A few.
A few of the hive.
Really hardy.
Yeah.
Psychos.
So here's one of the tweets, and where I said, like exactly how I said earlier, I don't think LGBT is a soft place for adults to land. LGBT is about equality and adult sexuality, not for kids in school. Meaning it is not something that kids should be taught in school. I believe in standing up and protecting kids, and this is all on gay pride tweet that I retweeted. And I'll pull that up too after. So here he is right here. This is him. Got to give everyone credit for, like what they say and show my evidence. Shout him out. Yeah.
Shout him out.
So he claims to me, how could I miss that you keep claiming that you are? It's almost borderlining on the line of pastors who preach so hard against homosexuality and prostitution when they're hooking up with the male prostitutes. Meanwhile, did you miss your own tweet? So he comes at me and starts accusing me and claiming this, implying that I am doing something to children or I'm harming them in some way. And I said, I'm standing up to protect kids. You are pushing to have the sexualization in kids. Big difference. And then he goes on to tell me that you claim to want to protect kids by enforcing said cis-het norms, cis heterosexual norms, like these buzzwords that are used. No acknowledgement for the safety of the LGBT children under age 18 who come to their own realization of their own orientation. So children 14 to 17, example, shouldn't date unless it's cis-het dating. Which that's not what I was saying at all. I had that was complete. This guy completely twisted my words and like did this throughout the entire thread.
They all did. Joy did it.
Yeah. Yeah, it happened over and over again. I don't want children sexualized at all. In a heterosexual or homosexual way, any sexuality way. Like, I don't think that belongs. Like, they don't. That doesn't belong with the kids. Like, the flag shouldn't be. They could have rainbows at school. I want them to be inclusive and let their friends be their friends and, like teach inclusivity and be anti-bullying. And, like, I don't think that they need to be like taught anything hateful ever. Like, no, that is not what I would never advocate for that. That's why I told some of my history and some of my story. But he just kept quote tweeting this at me and acting as though I was trying to be exclusionary and exclude children from school and that gay kids shouldn't be at school. It's an absolutely ridiculous thing to say to me.
And never ever fucking recant it or apologize or
no. He went on
Calm
about
down.
this for like 2 days. He did not stop.
Among the other
And then Jenna comes at me too. They're both coming at me. Both of them, and like, and Joy and I had this like long, thing, long discussion, and like she apologizes for that initial tweet that she did. She sent me an apology, but then she goes back out and goes after me.
Yeah. It's like, why did you apologize for, if you knew you were being an asshole, then be an asshole again?
Yeah, it just shows that she didn't mean what she said.
No.
So I'm going to pull up the other one so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Because that's what I like to do, is have all the evidence. And I have nothing to hide. Like, I'm not hiding anything. When I was, writing about them, I tagged them directly. Because I'm not hiding. Because I'm not doing something that I need. Like, that's just not my motive. That's just not how I work. And because she came at me publicly, I'm speaking out again about this publicly.
That's right. Because every single time we, Lucky or I, have called out anybody on their bullshit, we've gotten this same exact kind of bullying tactics from people on the other side.
Gaslighting us.
Gaslighting and trying to correct our thinking, and just constantly. But we're always seen as the troublemakers. We're just these trouble starting assholes that always ruin everything. But it's like, it's really honesty ruins everything for these people. And that's what needs to be examined here. And that's what people need to see when they, oh, why'd you guys get so petty about even fucking going public with this? Because they were completely public with their their bullying.
Attacks were public. The attacks are coming at me still publicly, and you'll see why. You'll see that. I'm sorry, I'm still scrolling.
It's just the bullying thing. It's like grade school or something, and like it's not like
fascism.
You're having a discourse with someone to reach a conclusion. It's just they're not happy unless they can try to smear you in every way and twist your words every way that they can to justify them coming at you in the first place when they were out of line in the first place. So, I say all of them can fuck completely off. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I'm at my wit's end with this, and I'm not gonna like cower down and hide when these people are literally going after me and telling people to unfollow me. And if you follow this person, like, they're making threats to people. Why are they doing that in the name of inclusivity?
That's fucking gross. Oh, you're friends with Steve and Lucky. Oh, you're canceled too.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you guys are worse than the fucking real fucking mainstream media. You petty little fucking politics. It's like there's a microcosm of fucking Washington, D.C. fucking reptiles within the indie media circle.
So what originally got me like going on like really like putting some things out there on social media about it, about pride and all that, was because I came across a tweet from a transsexual who was harmed by transitioning as an adult, and they speak out against it for children. And so they asked, trans man Scott Nugent asked in a message that people find something about the medicalization of kids. And where is it? I'm trying to find a tweet. Sorry. Tweet something out about the medicalization of kids, like a side effect or something like that. And I did that. And, like, it kind of got me like, oh, here it is. It kind of got me like thinking and everything. Like, I really would like, I need to be speaking out about this more. All right. I'm going to add this onto the screen. I found it. So this is like a TikTok video here. I'll like let it play real quick. I don't need to.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing.
So it's just really over the top rainbow stuff, right? And it's for pride. And, you know, I was like, wow, that's really like in people's faces. You know, like that. That just kind of like made me
I
feel
think it's kinda cute.
uncomfortable.
It looks like a cartoon. If you were tripping, you'd be like, "Whoa, am I tripping?"
Yeah, but it's the intention of it that bothers me. I love rainbows. That's the problem. I love rainbows.
I do too.
So I says I'm part of the LGBT community, and I don't think sexuality needs to be put on full display like this. This will just cause more division. And I was replying to Kimber Maddox because she said, put one of these bad boys up in every conservative neighborhood. And I just felt like that was like, no, we don't need to do that. That's gonna, you know, like sometimes like people want to push things a little bit too far. And I felt like that was, you know, that was a little bit too much. And I don't feel like that would be a good thing to do in, you know, in a community, is to, you know, to really do that. Oh, we're blocked on. But this is where the original tweet.
I have a couple little blockies on there. People get a little blocky.
They do. They get blocky. Here, what I can do though is I can copy this and I can put it in our chat. If anybody in the YouTube one, that's what I got right now. I can put it in there if you guys want to, you know, check it out. I don't know if you have to have an account with Twitter to go look at it, but that's where like that originally, you know, that part came from. All right, so they continued to go on and other people joined in and decided. All right, here it is. So this other person on Twitter that I was you know, quote unquote, you know, following. We were following each other on Twitter up until just recently, and there was something that triggered this, and I'm not really sure what it was because I was just like literally helping them with their dog like the day before. But this person says they are going to block me. Or they're going to block anyone still following me come the end of the day. And you can cry about follow police all you want. If we don't keep our community safe, nobody will. And then Joy, who had put up a thread a couple hours like, you know, like on a different thing, she said, genuine question for my LGBTQIA plus allies. How do you deal with ignorance and hate online, especially from those who say they're part of the community yet stroke hate and judgment? So on her thread, she was actually getting like, it was very like bait clicky. Like she was trying to get that engagement. She wanted that. She wanted the fight. She wanted to pick. So she goes and finds somebody that's trying to cancel me. And she replies with that so that she can curate people to then come on there and hate, and then she'll feel justified in it, I guess. I'm not really sure. I'm assuming, but this is not what an ally or a friend does.
Nope.
It was extremely fucking rude. She put a fucking target on my back.
Flag on the play. Poor form. Remember Hook?
After just apologizing the day before. This is after she apologized for going at me publicly about something else and then making it about the LGBT issues. There's more. I don't take kindly to that.
Tea is ready. Skylar just made some.
I don't take kindly to that kind of shit.
I think agro progressive is surveilling our kitchen. Well, he said tea, so maybe his surveillance isn't up to snuff.
So here you can see that I put wow, tag Savage Joy. Joy Marie 1. That's her thing. I said she's not a comrade. She's supporting someone trying to get people to block me. Lame as fuck. Trying to exclude me from my own community under guise of claiming to be inclusive. This is not how you treat a friend. This is not how you support the LGBT community. This isn't how you support anybody. This is how you tokenize people and you use them as if they are pawns. This is abusive, it's manipulative, and it's not right. And this is not what I wanted to have to cover tonight. This person wants everyone to block me, and so Joy jumps in on the bandwagon trying to get everybody else to cancel me too. All because it started with I didn't cover East Palestine enough in her eyes. Like, I don't know who makes her the arbiter of how much is enough or not, or if Jenna Colby or her husband have some kind of gauge. Because Joy admitted that she doesn't watch my show. I'm pretty sure the other two don't either. And all these hateful people that are ganging up and just deciding to come at me and block me because of this bullshit that she knew I was already dealing with other people.
It's just cheese that, you know, we should. I mean, people can see the manipulation and the stupidity, right? Like, it's a real thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing. But you know what? In the midst of all of this, in the midst of already, like, you know, like, and Jenna Colby even tried to question whether or not I was even part of the LGBT community. Like, are you kidding me? You think you get to judge me as to whether I'm part of a community? You get to be the arbiter of all of this truth? You get to just gang up on people and you think there's going to be just no accountability for that? I'm sick of it. I'm sick of people in independent media acting like, you know, they're high and mighty and that like they can just treat people this way. It's abusive. It's manipulative. I dealt with abuse. I dealt with manipulation. I dealt with that emotional freaking toll that comes from that. This kind of hive mentality, this what we're calling rainbow fascism. If you don't believe everything that I believe, then you are just like canceled. You are kicked to the freaking curb. And then like, you know, they're trying to like say to other people that speak up about, you know, their own behavior. And they're like, oh, well, Lucky felt this way on this issue, trying to get more people to gang up on me. Well, it's not working.
Yep. And it's really sad because ultimately the entire thing of the internet is simply a way for the masters to build predictive maps to be able to anticipate what we think and what we will do, and to feed us the data that we need to react a certain way and control the masses. They just did it. Does anybody remember that? You know, they're still doing it. It's just the way they do it. The hive mind makes it possible. And these predictive maps that the people own the data of all these, every keystroke you ever put in a computer. They figured you out. They got a fucking computer for you individually.
And Josh, if you're still here, Josh Davis, I will tell you, I yelled at Steve earlier. I was like, oh my God. Josh Davis can tell me, like, I told you so if he wants to.
He has.
Has he? I haven't been paying attention
He
to
has
this
several
chat.
times, and I put it in the big book of stuff. I made a note.
he has. He's called out these people like over and over and over again.
Yeah, they've literally developed the tech to do so. Guys think I'm crazy, but it's real. They really, really do that.
Not independent media.
Not independent media, though. No, they're immune. Everybody else who's arguing amongst themselves, they're all immune to the data harvesting and the predictive map made about each one of your fucking IP addresses.
Oh yeah, yeah, Josh, I'm dead. Wait, Josh Cleo. No, I'm serious. Like, I literally was like, Steve, Josh gets to tell me I told you so. He totally earned it.
Yep, that says, who is Josh Davis? Well,
Dun,
tell
dun,
you,
dun.
Josh
He's a
Davis
frog.
is the premier psychic friend
He
network.
He's
guy.
the maker of this bowl right here. See this?
That's right.
See
And
this?
And
This.
he's a glass maker and occasional dog surfer. Is a good guy, and he conflicts with people all the time because he likes to call people on their bullshit too. So we kind of have a what do you call that?
Yeah, like he'll
What a
come and
thing
give
in
me
common.
shit if I'm like, if we might not ever agree. Sometimes we don't come to an agreement at all, and but you know, like Josh will come and give me shit about things, and I'll be like, damn it. Sometimes Josh sees things before I do, but he's been in this circle of people before longer than I have.
Lady Alex says she has a glass dildo that looks like that. What?
Oh, that must be cold.
Agro said I want one. I don't know.
Yeah, Josh,
what is happening in this chat?
Put your link in the chat, Josh. That's why you guys have wrenches. But I mean, like, the reason why this is like, you know, like this got to me is because it's like, okay, well, you know, this is supposed to be somebody who's a comrade. This is supposed to be somebody who's a friend. This is somebody who's been on the show. This is somebody that we've helped out. And you know what I mean? Like, we share their content and, you know, like, and I watched I used to watch her show. So what's happened now? Let me see.
Prologue. Let's wrap this bitch up.
What?
What?
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm just I'm trying to be encouraging.
Okay.
I felt like I haven't been able to communicate a single idea or point.
Yes, you have, Steve.
Okay.
Well, a lot of this has been targeted at me. I'm sorry, Steve. Sorry. You want some of the hate? Here, I'm going to let you have some of it right now.
I don't want it.
Because this is when, you know, Steve spoke up.
It's going to be wild in Iowa next year. Yeah. It's going to be something or other. How many Republican candidates are there? 86?
So here, do you want to read your tweet?
Okay, what is it? Make it bigger. Can't see.
Oh, well, it's probably going to be bigger in a second.
Okay.
Is it there yet?
I got it. So Joy says her tweet, and then I says, as someone whose partner is and has been a member of that community for decades, I find being truthful and facts-based, not labeling people as hateful humans to suit narratives, is a good place to start. A little passive-aggressive on my part, I must add. Being patient with people as they come to understand nuanced ideas can help. And that was, you know, without snarkiness. I was being serious, you know, relatively low snark on the level of snarkiness that can come out of my mouth at any given time. I mean, come on. You guys have been listening to me for how long?
So then she said, the fact that you're taking personal offense to this post says a lot. And then that's when she posted this reply right here was on the other.
Not even a little, Lady Alex. Sorry, I wasn't trying to interrupt you, but she was like, do we really care who runs for any office? Not even a little.
No.
Nope.
So this okay, back to this was a response to the tweet that she shared over on this other one where the lady was trying to cancel me. So like she's not trying to do that, but then she's like goes and puts that entire thread over here. And then she shares it where the person where the Charlotte is trying to
the person who's like
trying to cancel me,
just screaming at you relentlessly every different thing she could.
Oh, it was a different person. That was one of their other.
Oh, that's right. That was the part of the network of.
Oh yeah, there's been several of them that have come at me. It's ridiculous. They come in like a hive. Like it's like they send a couple over every time. Some people just block, and some people like you know what I mean. But everyone that's blocking me is also seeing this. It's happening, and you know what? I'm getting a lot of support. Actually. Getting a whole lot of support. People are DMing me. People are calling out the bullshit themselves. And they're like, oh, you know, people are telling me I've dealt with the same thing with this same person. And I feel like, you know, that's what's messed up is that we don't speak up when people are, you know, this isn't to like smear anybody. This is how I perceive what happened, you know, and Steve's been right there with me. I don't know. Yeah, she completely threw me under the bus. Exactly. She threw me under the bus. She tried to get people to dogpile. Because people were responding to her like, well, I usually talk to the person and all this and that. And that was like their responses. And then she tried to call me a hypocrite for not talking to her, but then she blocked me.
John Kemper, he's like, I wanted to play that lady Erica Badu's It's Not About My Hair.
Oh my God. Yeah, John, that was one of their people. That was one of their people that was over. Then there's this lady that was like stalking me because she didn't like how I was. Zainab was there. Like, I don't even know how Zainab was so patient with this woman last night.
Zainab has experience with these crazies. That's why she can navigate it, because she's been dealing with fucking crazy people for so long that after a while you just like you have a barometer. Oh, this one's really crazy. This one's manageable crazy. You know, like
I mean, this woman was like she came over like really upset about how I feel about like medical stuff and how I feel about trans people, but she was just really hyper focused on my hair. She kept telling me I was like misappropriating black hair, and that my hair doesn't lock up by itself the way that it does, and that my Viking lineage was like wrong, and that oh my gosh, she was saying all these things, like just going on and on and on. You know, it was the craziest thread.
It's funny you should bring that up. We need critical thinking, because if people weren't so crazy and just immediately block you and, you know, say all these horrible things to each other instead of just having a conversation, that's why we're like, no.
See, the thing is that she could have even texted me or called me because she has my number.
Could have worked it out on the phone.
She apologized the day before for going after me on Twitter publicly,
and then the next
day
is a psycho. So it's like, you know,
yeah, I think that she didn't burn a bridge, she blew the fucking bridge up.
She did, but that's not to say we couldn't have a conversation. I'm willing to talk to anybody who wants to talk to us. We have said this from day
with respect
one. With respect, I am willing to talk to anyone about damn near anything. So please, you know, don't get all butthurt because we fucking pointed out to your public that you were acting a fucking fool, because you're acting a fucking fool. So sorry, not sorry.
No, that was.
But if you want to talk about it,
it was absolutely uncalled for.
Completely.
It was uncalled for, it was unwarranted. If you don't watch my show and you don't know how I'm feeling and you know the conversations that we have, and Zainab has been on and she has, you know what I mean, a daughter, and we've done research, and you know what I mean, like we've had all these in-depth conversations, and a lot of you that are here, you know, these in-depth conversations that we've had.
It's true.
And now people are going after other people, and they're saying they're trying to cancel other people, and other people are unfollowing YepX and other. It's like, are you kidding me?
Because people
because they're viewing my words that I'm putting on Twitter, like where it's supposed to be for adults, as hateful or whatever. I don't know.
It's nonsense. It's nonsensical for people to be blocking, and then by association, because you still like Lucky's show, that means I have to block you. That's it. I'm sorry. I can only stand so much, YepX. I'm gonna have to block you too. I mean,
yeah,
I like Lucky's show too, but I've had enough.
I'm not telling anybody to go cancel them. I'm not telling anybody to do anything.
We never ever said anything about any of that.
Do what you want.
Literally calling you on your fucking stupidity and your bullshit. And I don't care what anybody thinks about it. You can think what you want about it.
It was absolutely abusive.
Go over and talk to them about it. Get their point of view. Whatever. It's all good. I want there to be discussion. I want people to understand that it is possible to disagree and not have to cancel each other and not have to act like a fucking 5-year-old taking their toys and going home. That's the equivalent of what we just went through in the last couple of days. Like, are you guys even serious? Do you realize that you just keep digging a bigger hole and everybody's looking at you going, why are they digging such a big hole around? They could have stopped like, fucking 2 days ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then I made a comment because the way that Jenna's husband had spoken to me and saying that to me, and I'm like, no, I don't think that this should be in school. I don't think it should be in school. And he's like, you're excluding gay kids. You're excluding. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't think any sexualization should be in school. But he kept pushing for it. And I'm like, dude, you sound like, you're starting to sound like a groomer. Like that sounds like groom, like, you know what I mean? Like that is where that is going. And I don't think any of these people have have their own children. And they're coming at me as a mother, as an LGB, as an ally. And they're attacking me in this way and trying to throw me under the bus this way. What does that say about somebody? That says a lot more about who they are.
Absolutely. It really does. That's why this thing, I mean, how much more do we have to say about this? Like, this is, these people were acting like idiots and, they continue to, and there's again, each time somebody accuses us of being some kind of dramatic monsters, it's just nonsense, man. Like, I said a thing about dog tags, so now the Assange movement hates me, like, because I think dog tags are a symbol of the state and maybe not the best thing to fucking represent.
I call them death tags. I mean, that's really what they are. When a soldier goes out into combat, they get tags, and they're one for their body, one for their grave. That's a death wish.
Okay. Now, that being said, all I did was say that, essentially, and say, I'm not trying to shit on anybody's good work or take away from this in any way. I'm just saying, optically, it looks fucked up. How does it, does Stella think this is cool? And like Misty just went off and just was like, oh, you're horrible. We were never friends. And just like total fucking grade school nonsense, man. Like, each person that we've interacted and conflicted with in any way or had a difference of opinion in any way, not one of them has been able to hold both thoughts in their mind at the same time and remain civil. Now, this is not just a fucking once in a fucking blue moon thing. This is consistent. People do this consistently. I understand cognitive dissonance has to exist for there to be harmony in the universe, but does it have to exist in every single fucking content creator that we happen to just disagree about a certain thing, even when we agree with them 90% of the time. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so crazy to me. Like, how are people unable to be emotionally mature enough to hold conflicting opinions in their fucking head and not just like want to?
I'm friends with people from all backgrounds. Like, I'm friends with people that are like super conservative to like to the extreme left. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm friends with people from all walks of life. I don't ask, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have some purity test. My purity, like the purity test that I guess the purity test I would have is, do you care about children and, you know, keeping predators away from people and like, you know, standing up for basic human rights? Because that's what matters to me.
Yep.
And yes, Snork, exactly. My locks are Viking hair, I know. But that lady
lose their mind.
That lady was just like not,
because it's a drag when they fucking all come at you at the same time, Lady Alex. When you have fucking 6 people screaming at you because you fucking made had an opinion about something, you shared a thing, and so now you got all these people screaming and quote tweeting you and trying to actively get people to fucking cancel you
because they're going after my business stuff too. Now they've stirred all this activity up.
We're not trying to fucking, you know, be run out on a rail, but we're not trying to fucking self-censor either. You know,
but that's the thing is that it's attacking my business as well.
People are fucking douchebags.
They're coming at me and they're calling me bigot and homophobic whenever I put up things. So now they're coming at me for that and they're trying to silence me that way. And that's the train that Joy's getting on is to silence me. And then it affects my business and how like how we're able to like make income. Do you see how that works?
It's not okay. It's not okay. And
these people were supposed to be people were supposed to be my friends. They're supposed to be allies. That's why it bothers me. It's not really as much the random people. It's the people that actually
that you work with.
That I thought were my friends. They had some kind of concerted effort to come at me and drag me through the mud.
Yeah, it's not okay to do that. It's not okay when you think
it's not.
When
it's
you're
freaking bullying.
And you're literally trying to work together and you previously stood up for them while other people were treating them the exact same way. So that's the fucking irony of it. I guess, you know, we could just choose to fucking not be friends with anyone and then just, you know, die miserable and alone, or we could just keep doing what we're doing, and when people act a fucking fool, we'll point it out.
Well, this is us talking about. This is us like the first time we're really talking. We're not like continuing on about this. Like this just happened. Like we're just letting the community know. There's a lot of people who are not on Twitter, so I'm like, you know what? I want to get my actual voice out there and talk about it and give a little bit of my own history, and I feel like that is perfectly fine to do on my channel.
Yeah, you absolutely have every right to vent and state the facts as they are. And any one of those people that we've fucking called out wants to discuss it, please reach out.
Yeah. Please.
Don't hide behind blocks and smear us like you've been doing. It's fine. Just reach out to us and we'll get past whatever awkwardness there is for the stupid fucking things that, you know, have transpired. That's what we're about, is trying to find a solution and a fucking way to exist. That's all. You know what I mean? If you're just a terminal fucking douchebag, then you're a terminal douchebag and I don't give a fuck. You can fuck right off. But if you're not and you actually have a soul and you actually give a fuck, then be a dude, you know? Fucking let's talk about it. But if you don't, that's okay too. We're still gonna do what we're gonna do. We just thought it was important for, you know, the people who didn't know.
I needed to be able to get it out. I needed to be able to express that. Like I feel this is like therapeutic to me. Like, you know, I need to be able to say what I need to say. And then I can let it go.
Yep.
But I need to be able to say it.
Yeah. And I think we've achieved that, you know.
Oh, yeah, Vex, you're so sweet. You're gonna make me cry. Sent me a picture of the new kitty.
Ketone.
Izzy is the brown tabby. Milo is the tuxedo.
Yes, I agree, Lady Alex. They all should eat a bunch of acid and give us a ring. You know, let's talk it out. Mellow. Remember that? Mellow. Ah!
So yeah, we've had quite the week of you know what I mean, like people that we thought were comrades and friends, whatever, coming at us. Something is weird, something is in the air, or people are just in complete denial and they want to purposefully twist words because they're looking for that argument. I don't know. I'm not in their head, but yeah. If people are going to act like this, then they deserve to, you know, to be called out for it, I guess. I'm not asking that everybody agree with me 100%. I don't agree with Steve 100% of the time.
Fucking about 23%.
A lot of times sometimes we'll get like really passionate about something and we'll be telling each other how we agree really loudly at each other. And it sounds like we're getting all like upset, but we're just like, and he's like, we're agreeing. And I'm like, I know.
Stop yelling. You agree with me. You just said the same thing as me, only
in a different way.
Different words.
So yeah, this is really about, you know, just, you know, we need to do better. We need to do better for kids. We need to do better for each other. If we want to have a better community, then we need to make a better community. That's what I always said. That's why I always did, you know, I mean, like I have you know, with my disabilities and stuff like that, I literally have a longer list of volunteer work than I do of actual like paid work. I'm gonna put up where's our is there a thing here for our store?
There is no singular best strain of weed, but I can give you my top 3 if that will help. Mid-90s headband. It has to be from a period specific time. Late 70s Acapulco Gold and late 70s Thai weed. Like whatever that fucking Thai sativa was that we used to get that was so spicy. Oh my God, that was so good. And the Moroccan hash. Okay. Cali Kush, very nice. Also very nice. There's so many. But those are my top 3. And my top hash would be the Moroccan, the one that was like red. It wasn't quite blonde and it wasn't quite brown. It was fucking red. Because I guess it just had a bunch of red hairs in it. Oh my God, that shit was fire. It would like, you put it under a glass and it would just like, a little piece would just make that glass just like, just completely crushed with smoke. It would kill you. It was fantastic.
All right, I'm gonna put that ticker back.
Wow, also very nice.
So we need some extra support right now. The way we can have extra support is if you can share some of the stuff that we have on our store, or you have availability where you can, you know, you can help us out, because we are being, you know, attacked and you know, every time I put anything
being like super suppressed on YouTube, like the amount of views have like been cut in half basically anymore.
Riley, we were saying your name the other day. Steve was talking about how you started the rumor how I have webbed feet.
I did.
How have you been? It's good to see you. I used to be a huge NASCAR fan, actually. when I was a teenager and I lived out. Yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything, just like general questions or comments or whatever, like, you know, we're just gonna switch to like talking about whatever now. So I used to love, because I loved rainbows so much, like, and I didn't like, you know, this was before I really knew what the rainbow symbology kind of like was and stuff. When I was like a teenager, I used to what was his name? Oh my god, Riley, what is this name? What? The NASCAR guy that I liked. Why did I like the NASCAR guy with the rainbows? Jeff Gordon? Was it Jeff Gordon?
He was a NASCAR guy. I don't know anything about.
Was he like a rainbow warrior or something?
I don't think Jeff. I don't know.
I think so. Riley, you gotta tell me.
Everybody loved Dale Earnhardt, and I remember him from.
Everyone loved Dale Earnhardt, but I liked Jeff. I think it was Jeff Gordon. I think it was because like he was the rainbow warrior, and that was like the main reason.
Darrell Waltrip. I don't know. Those are the only names I remember from racing. Is Darrell Waltrip.
Who knows? Somebody tell me.
From Formula One, Mario Andretti.
I know that name. Yep.
Yeah.
I remember when
ABC's Wide World of Sports.
My dad. Oh, I miss him. When we would go out to the racetrack, we went and saw school buses doing figure 8 racing, and it was extreme contact. It was like one of like my like because you know at 16 I literally got on a plane in Boston and I flew cross country to Washington State by myself to go meet my dad for the first time. Like meet him. Like I hadn't seen him since before I was 4 years old. It was I saw a term today, parental kidnap. And that's kind of like what happened. I mean, I guess, or I don't know, like my parents came to an agreement, parental to kidnap something. I was taken from all my family at the age of 4, and went with my mom and stepdad. And when my dad was 15, when I was 15, my dad found me for the second time. He found me when I was 13, but he found me again when I was 15. So we lost contact, and so I flew cross country by myself. It was crazy, and like my dad didn't have an apartment. My dad slept in his truck. He was houseless. I slept on my uncle's couch. It was some crazy times. I had a really crazy like life break coming up, and one day I'm gonna write my book on it. But yeah, I moved to Washington State at 16 by myself, and went through crazy shit. But one of the things that we did was we went to the figure 8 school bus races, and we used to watch NASCAR. Jeff Gordon. Riley, you reminded me of like all of that. Yeah. That's crazy. Oh, jeez. Zainab. Oh, we are so much alike when it comes to like how, you know, we can really, sometimes I'm really tolerant of people the way that you are. But like, man, do we like, I think we attract to certain people. Angela always tells me I get the best trolls. I get the craziest ones. I get the craziest trolls. I mean, like, it's just fucking craziest trolls. Zainab said she knows no other names than Fuzzy Bunny and Pineapple Express. Oh my god, I had one of the best sweets that I ever had when I moved out to Washington. Like, my dad knew that I smoked weed, so he got some from like one of the native reservations there, and oh my gosh, it was like the lightest color of like almost like mint ice cream color, like that, like really fake mint green color, but like really light. light, and like super just like heavy white crystalline. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, like maybe it was just because it was like the first weed that I smoked with my dad, you know. But like, I don't know. I remember that weed.
They got some ridiculous weed. Yeah, around here in Canterbury, they had a thing called Canterbury Green. That was like,
yeah, I know the guy who's one of the main people that started Canterbury Green.
That skunk that they had.
It was their dad.
It was the same color as what you're describing. It was lime green, basically.
Yes.
Like a minty green, more than lime green. It was like a kind of bluish green, and fucking just sugar coated.
Yes, it's probably that's basically like what that stuff was like. And I remember being like, holy shit.
Okay. Are you ready for an outro song or what?
What? Outro song?
I thought we were done.
I was just going to talk with people. Yeah, it was a Chevy. Yes, and I think that's why too, because my dad was totally like my dad had an old like 60. I want to say it was a 67 Chevy truck, and it was like it was that like classic custom or whatever it is, and like that harvesty like kind of gold color. You know what I'm saying? I have pictures of it. Well, I'm going to have to do a stream just about my dad. Like, I'll see if I can. That'll be really hard. But yeah. Yeah, Jeff Gordon was my guy. Oh my gosh, Oz. I think everybody has their own gauge. Yeah. About sexuality or gender, Oz has a built-in gauge that points the way.
He's got a built-in gauge. He's got a pointer, if you will.
I mean, not every person is for every person. Doesn't matter what gender they are. Yeah.
Divining rod, is that appropriate?
Yeah, divining rod. Or there are some people that are going after people and saying, well, if you don't like a transgender, male to female, and you're a lesbian, then that's wrong, and you're like a bigot and stuff. It's like, no, that's you don't get to decide that a person is attracted to another person or not. Like, you don't get to decide that person gets to decide who they're attracted to and what kind of people they're attracted to. That we don't get to do that. Oh yeah, I heard that there was some issues that she had with RBN. I didn't see the tweets or anything like that, but yeah, there's a pattern of it. But welcome. What are you saying here, Riley? Hey, what if you could tell stories in a comic book style? Then you could focus on each story and have an artist draw what's on your mind. Call it the Burrito Tales. Oh, that's so cool!
That would be really good.
That would be so awesome. Are you a comic book? Are you volunteering as a comic book artist? That would be really awesome, Riley. I love it. Oh, YFX is getting kitten kisses. Oh my gosh, you guys have got to check out my shorts today. We took Leo down to a field and stuff and by us and let them run around. And oh my gosh, it was so cute. I saw something in the woods. You got to go watch the video to find out and tell me if you can actually see.
I made a music video.
And I recorded Steve doing a video, and then like I haven't seen it yet, but he like edited the video that I made and everything like that. Exactly, Zainab. Yeah, I think everyone has their own sexual preferences. Some people, doesn't matter what gender they are. Some people prefer certain types of women or certain types of men. It's just, it's just the chemistry in our brains, and that's how it works. And we can't. We need to stop the hate around this. I feel like that there's things that are being hateful that are being pushed on everybody, and like when we're not saying things out of hate, then it shouldn't be, it should be a conversation and not just coming to conclusions without actual evidence or anything like that. Oh, right, Lee. All right. Well, you came up with the idea, so you still get credit for the idea.
Hey, see you later, Ozman.
Thank you for coming by, Oz. We appreciate you. Oh, so this has been a lot, but I feel better that we got some of it out there, and I don't wish any harm on anybody. I don't want anybody to do anything to anybody. I want everybody to move forward with love, and that's what's most important. Hey, Grey Walker. I was lurking, not hate watching. Thank you. Lurking is fine. But that's like saying all straight women should be attracted to incels. Yeah, like that's not, like everyone's attracted to who they're attracted to, and that's we need to have acceptance and not be exclusionary in any way.
KSW says some guy took first place in the gravel bike race.
Oh no, really?
It was a woman's gravel bike.
Oh, yeah. That stuff is that's happening in sports. And men have so people that are born as biological, men and develop into men. You have a larger lung capacity. Like there are a lot of things that are different about a male and a female. How long our arms are, and then there are more petite sometimes, males. So like there needs to be a new way to figure this out. We need to start having conversations of like, what does it look like for sports? What is it? You know what I mean? Because women are crying out and saying, I don't want to be, I can't keep up with that. That, there's a reason why, I'm in the women's league. I was never like a sporty, like I was like a total tomboy and all that, but I wasn't like into, into sports like heavy, like, so, I would like to talk to somebody who, sorry, I'm like distracted. There you go. KSW, you should have a wrench now. I would like to talk to people about that topic, though. If you do guys do know somebody, if you can have somebody reach out, because I am interested to see if there is anybody that is, that comes from that sport background and how that, how that works for them. Yeah, like there needs to be a new league or a new way to like classifications of people, like how they classify people or whatever it is. Like we need to find a balance there. Like that's we should definitely, that's one of the topics of this that I would like to get to soon. And don't forget, like, set your reminder. I'm having Buck Angel come on Thursday, smack dab in the middle of Pride Month. So, we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff and just, see where it goes. And, oh my gosh, really? A woman? Okay. Also this week, people got mad because a trans woman played and won in a video game championship. Yeah, that's not. I don't think.
I think that's.
That doesn't seem like
one of those headlines that slips.
It doesn't seem like a real, like, it's like, seems like a fake outrage, like a virtue signal outrage or something. I don't know. I don't know all the details of it, but it just doesn't, I mean, males and females' brains work differently, but like, is it hate because it's a trans person, or hate because it was, the opposite? It was, they wouldn't have that as gender specific, would they? A game like that?
We've had JB on before from our band. JB. John's like, didn't Lucky have a conversation with JB?
Yeah, JB came on. We did a show on disabilities, actually, and like how being disabled is not a grift, because we face real things as disabled people. Absolutely. But yes, JB has been on. Yeah, that I would think that would be gender neutral. If they're against that person just because they're a trans person, then that's wrong. That's absolutely wrong, and that's exclusionary behavior, and that needs to be called out as like, no, that's bullshit. I don't care. Like it's not somebody, you know what I mean? That no. Oh yeah, Yepek said it would be great if RBN would chat with you about the LGBTQ stuff, but they won't. Yeah, no, most of them actually have me blocked except for JB. So a lot of people who have blocked me. Buck Angel is a transsexual, female to male, and believes in biology and speaks on the topic and is amazing. Like a 30-year, like calls himself Trampa, 30 years on testosterone, 30-year transition, so really, really knowledgeable, like part of the original, like LGB, like OG crowd. Like, I believe that he was one of the first people to transitioning in the United States in California. So yeah, Thursday, he'll be joining us, and you can find Buck Angel on YouTube, or I know that he's on Twitter. I don't know if he's on Rumble yet. I think he's working on that. But absolute sweetheart, so down to earth. Like I am so fangirling and so excited to have Buck Angel come on the show. And people like to go after Buck, who's a transsexual, and tell Buck that he's homophobic and a bigot and a turf. Yeah. Likes to label all these things. And see what happens when we overuse all these labels. What happens is that they lose the actual, like, they lose value and when you actually have somebody who is a bigot, who does really hate, and these things get thrown around, and it waters it down. And we need to have a real nuanced, genuine conversations about these issues with love and acceptance in our hearts and on the left, because the left is not using their critical thinking skills with this. And like Zainab has been on a lot with me to talk about this with me, and you know, it's not easy to talk about. I mean, even the Bank sisters, people try to go after them and try to cancel them for speaking about it. And, you know, it's this bullying tactics it's not going to work. It's not. That's why I'm calling it out.
Thank you, guys, for explaining to Aggro what a turf is.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, what's a turf?
Yeah, and there's a lot of like
There's
language around stuff and like
keywords to remember.
Yeah, there's so many like the languages change, and then they're you know, like they're talking about pronouns. And the thing that's happening though with the pronouns that's really bothering me is that they're not actually like, that's not how we speak.
They're not grammatically correct.
Yeah, it's really hard for me to use them when I'm like in my brain, like that's not how you it's hard. It goes against what my brain is used to, and it's not trying to be against other people. It's just that's how, you know, like that's how I was. Oh, I thought I sent that one to you, one about the grammar. Yeah, they go. There's so much crazy stuff that's like going after people that are part of a community and trying to exclude them, and in terms of making people feel safe and inclusive, and it's just it's not helpful. It's not getting us anywhere. But I really want to thank everybody for showing such support, and everyone who sent me the private DMs and the people who spoke out publicly. And, you know, it's not about bashing somebody else. It's about, you know, standing up for myself. And we need to speak up together about these things. There's other people that this is happening to. And the tactics that are being used, it's not right. We need to be able to talk about these things with care and compassion. Don't the kids deserve that? I think that they do. I'm not gonna give the words, you know, leave our kids alone or keep kids safe, and let those words become, you know, the right language. Like, no, that's words that if you asked any normal person, if you said, I want to keep kids safe, then they you know what I mean, they're, you know, if they don't agree with you, then they're obviously there's something wrong. But what was I looking for? Oh, I was looking for the grammar video. It's just said so well. To me, it's so frustrating too that they're just taking our flags and they're completely co-opted completely by corporations. Like, I'm not a token for anybody. You don't get to use me in that way. Oh my god, you get so many different ads than I do. Like, your ads are totally geared towards like different shit than mine. It's so funny. Like you're getting like chainsaw ads and like very like man. Stereotypical man. It's like, but I would be the one who would be like, we need to go get a chainsaw, not Steve. And that's what's weird. I would be like, I need a chainsaw.
Depends.
I mean, but like, it would probably be more likely. I'm the one with that uses the tools the most. Not that you don't use tools, but you know, I am. All right, where the frick is the grammar one? Did I miss it? Oh, here's a thing of Buck. Let me show this so you can see Buck. Buck is a handsome old trampa. Did it show up? Is it on there? It was just Buck's birthday the other day. I know I have it here somewhere. I don't know where it went. Man, this stuff is like exhausting. I didn't sleep very well last night.
Teacher, leave those kids alone.
Yeah.
All in all, was another fixer in a hole. All in all, it was all just groomers in a hole.
Oh, this stuff is like... It's in here somewhere. I know it is. I don't know where I put it. Yeah, I don't know where it went. It's here somewhere. We can play it next time or whatever. Do I have a video of Buck? I don't know if I have anything. Like, he has stuff all over his channel though. Jara's liking it. She's grooving.
It's good to have a little groovy music in the background there, you know. I'm a fan. I would listen to the news much more if they had groovy music in the background.
You know, Zainab, she's very, very lucky, your daughter, that she has such a supportive parent. You know, I know that when I was like kind of like wanting to explore that more and everything like that, I had my best friend in high school, like completely against like, you know, gay people, and like there was a lot of that. I used to be very like much like the norm. Like it was really hard to come out. It was hard. Like a lot of times bi people wouldn't come out because of it. You know, I remember like when like there were time periods like when I, you know, I'd broken up with like a girlfriend or something, and like my mom knew, but like she didn't acknowledge it. She never acknowledged that I had a girlfriend. She'd be like, yeah, you know, you know, her and her friend, they had a fight, you know, like that was the kind of like language that my mom would use. So, you know, it wasn't like always accepted, but I think it's just amazing that your daughter has that and that she can really fully just embrace who she is, and you're there to support her. No, like whatever, you know, like whatever she decides. And like, I think that that's healthy to allow children that opportunity to, you know, to come into their own on their own, and not have anybody push it on them, and just, you know, like I think we need to focus more on like, you know, like maybe parents having better relationships with their children. That's what I tried to do when I volunteered at the shelter, was I tried to get it so that, like, you know, that I got the parents to sit down with their kid, because a lot of times these parents were just like going, and then like they would just like sit on their phone or whatever at the shelter where the kids were playing, and I would try to get them to sit down together, even if it was something just as simple as like doing coloring together, or I would bring Play-Doh in or whatever. I would just like, I didn't even get paid like a thriving or a living wage when I worked at the shelter. Like, and I spent my money that I did get doing that because I felt that much passion about it. And I felt like it was important to do that with children and help build that bridge and help build that relationship. Vicky got her stuff.
Oh,
can you believe I squeezed all of that in one box? Yay! Oh my gosh. You should send me pictures, and then you should tell me whether or not I'm allowed to publicly post them or not. Because if I'm not allowed to, I won't. But you know, if you let me, it was so sweet.
We need our beautiful friends to be our models.
Yes.
So.
Like I wish I could just like afford to send everybody stuff. Like
that would be nice.
I really do.
Maybe someday. If we can get people to actually buy stuff from the store on a regular basis, we would actually be able to do that after. You know, like
I was thinking about doing like one of those fun giveaways, like a lot of places like they do them on Twitter and stuff. I wouldn't want to exclude anybody from our community here though, but it's a much larger audience there. But maybe we could run a give. I wonder if they. I don't know how those giveaway things work. Maybe we can do something like that. I don't know. Yeah, and I think that that's amazing that you just like let her discover herself and figure it out herself. That's beautiful. That's what we need to do for children.
She said it was awesome. It all sprung out like a Jack in the Box.
I was a military brat as a kid. I learned how to pack really well, and I was a Girl Scout for a little while, very short period of time, but I loved Girl Scouts. I loved learning that stuff. I loved being outside. I was thinking about that, Yepex. I haven't reached out to anybody yet, but like, yeah, the weed companies that do the giveaway things. I was thinking about that. Like, I'd have to get them the merch or whatever. Like, I don't know how that part of it would work, but like, I think that would be so cool if I did, like, you know, one of the rolling trays or the pot leaf ashtrays or whatever. I got to be able to cover the shipping on it, though. That's like what I need to make sure that, you know, I'm able to cover to send it to them or whatever, or send it to the person. I don't know whatever it would be, but yeah, it would be really awesome to team up and do a giveaway together with somebody. That would be that's a real. I thought about that too a couple of times, and I thought about them like, oh, I should see if I can get some of them like that have stickers or whatever. Like, hey, send me some stickers and I'll make you something cool.
Yep.
Didn't you make Josh's you made one of his icons, right? Didn't I put that in resin stuff?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember. I know I put stuff inside of resin like all the time. Oh, John, thank you. He gave some ladies in the park my link. That does help. Thank you. I know I want to be able to get more stickers made. We have those awesome stickers that Steve designed. And I want to be able to get stickers made. How much was it for the stickers?
It's like $20.
$20?
Yep.
For how many?
I think 50.
$20 for 50?
Like
Are you sure that's it?
I might be thinking.
I think you're wrong.
There's other things. I don't know.
So anyway, we need to get a little bit together so maybe we can get some stickers too. And then, you know, I mean, I'll be able to, if I get enough of them, like enough stickers made, then I'll be able to like, you know, give them out to you guys so you guys can, you know, give them to people and stuff. Riley, that's inappropriate. That's so inappropriate. Oh my gosh. You know what we used to, when I lived at the shelter for those 3 months, the one that I went back to work at. So like we were embarrassed to call it the shelter, like out in public. So we called it the ranch. We would be like, we're going back to the ranch because we had like a curfew. Like the curfew there, it sucked. People hated it. It was like you had to be home at like 7:00 on weekdays and like 9:30 on the weekends. Like unless you were working or something, like, or you had permission to be out past that. It was awful. I hated having, you know, I don't like rules. And I hated having to like enforce like rules on, you know, the people. I just try to make things as comfortable as I could for them. We used to make cakes out of like really interesting things at the shelter. Like if it was like a client's birthday or something like that, we would always want to make them a cake or like the kids or something. So like we didn't have like all the commissary food items that we needed. Like we didn't have like just like, you know, like we had meal, actually it's the same place that Meals on Wheels, they used to deliver the food meals. Yeah. So they would be huge, you know, huge trays that we would have to heat up, and like, you know, like there was like lasagna and stuff we heated up, stuff like that. But we never had eggs like ever. So like either I would bring them from home, a couple eggs if I was bringing a cake mix myself, but like sometimes the clients would like, or we would get like a donated cake mix or something. And then we're like, all right, well, we use bananas in there. We got like creative applesauce makes a good egg substitute. Like we use all sorts of things, like, you know, just trying to make things work. We would make like, if we had like lasagna, we would take like, or a salad, we would take bread and we would make like kind of like our own croutons, and like, you know, like you had to get creative to like,
yeah, man, poor people cuisine consists of whatever the fuck you got and some imagination, so a lot of spices. I learned how to make ramen surprise when I first had my first apartment. I was like, wow, living's easy on yourself. And then you're like, oh fuck, I don't have any more money, I spend it all on beer, what the fuck am I gonna eat? And then you're like, oh, ramens are like 20 cents a piece or 10 cents a piece back then, you know.
No, they were like, yeah, they were cheaper than that.
Pennies. Now they're like $1 a piece or something. It's fucking ridiculous. Insanity.
I know. It's like
this was trash then, and now
you know when it gets to the ramen. You know when like ramen
surprise, man. We would take whatever
I
kind of canned goods.
I haven't eaten ramen in years.
Whatever sort of vegetable there might be, or bean, or refried bean, or any kind of combination thereof, we would combine with the ramen in the pot of doom. And put whatever leftovers and whatever things you could put in there to make the thing taste like better than just gross. And it never worked. You just put cheese in it until you could eat it, you know, and that's what we did. We were poor. That's what we did.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
You got to do what you got to do. And I didn't know anything about how poisonous all the food was at the time, so I just ate whatever the fuck.
No, it's when you don't know, you eat what you think is just food. But when you start to get information and realize, and you start going down rabbit holes, you're like, holy shit, not only is our air, our water, our food, our medicine all poison. Like not all of it, but like, you know, a large majority of things are. It's really, you know, it's really can be overwhelming. Thank you for coming, Angela. Thank you for all your support. I appreciate you.
We love you, Angela.
Yeah, you gotta get a hold of Josh Davis. We need to put Josh's link or something in this, like, have it ready. I don't know.
He said his glass blowing is on hold.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I better be extra careful with this.
All right, we're gonna end this now.
Okay. Well, thank you guys all for coming and hanging out. I appreciate you guys.
Me too.
Where's Leo? Leo! I heard him!
I feel frozen like the rain before the springtime thaw. I've been wide awake and dreaming about walking out that front door. I've been questioning myself and the others around me. It seems I've fallen back down to the way the things used to be. And it's a goddamn shame that people got to be so strange. And it's a goddamn shame they're always so reluctant to change. When I'm walking in the desert, no, it never ever seems to rain. When I was walking in the desert, the sands of time rearrange. Yeah, but then there are times when I can't find the rhyme, when the sun don't shine, and I tell myself a lie. But you know, sometimes it just sounds so fine. Yeah, 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 And it's a goddamn shame people gotta be so strange. And it's a goddamn shame they're always so reluctant to change. When I'm a walking in the desert, no, it never ever seemed to rain. When I be walking in the desert, the sands of time rearrange. Yeah, rearrange. It's a goddamn shame that them people got to be so strange. All right. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us and listening and interacting. We appreciate you all. We'll see how it came out. And if it came out good, we will clip this. Clip it. Thanks, everybody.
Mhm.